And welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we are here in Madden 24. You guys will probably see what team we're going to be rebuilding, but today will be our first 5-year realistic rebuild here in Madden 24 in franchise mode. I am going to be using the real life roster. We are going to be rebuilding the New York Giants. But welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. So, it's time to start doing these 5-year realistic rebuilds, which I am very excited about. I don't really know what type of settings I'm going to be using. Some of this stuff I'm going to put on auto, but overall, very excited to get into this style of rebuilds. So, while setting all of this up, I would say probably the couple big things that I'm not going to be or not really doing is both the scouting players. Actually, we'll keep that on, excuse me. I'm not going to do the weekly training or anything like that. That's not going to be a major focus of these rebuilds. It's mainly sitting here and looking at the team, you know, whatever team we're going to be rebuilding for the next 5 years and trying to win them a championship. And we're going to start here with my favorite team, the New York Giants here. So let's go through this roster here, and you know, my hopes here, I'm recording this before week 1, and I'm hoping that this episode will come out before week 1 here. Well, New York decided to pay Daniel Jones north of $40 million a season, and if you want my honest opinion with this decision, was honestly the only move the Giants could make at the quarterback spot. I like Daniel. I think he's a good quarterback. Do I think he's worth $40 million a season? No. But is he a good quarterback? Yeah. He's an average guy. I'm hoping that we can try to win a championship with him. Who knows? We obviously have Saquon Barkley. He's a beast, but Barkley has his moments where, you know what, he was definitely never deserving of the number 2 overall pick, and I will die on that hill. I like Barkley a lot as a person, as a player, but can we build around him here in this rebuild? Absolutely. We're definitely going to go with these young wide receivers, though. We have a lot of talent here with, you know, Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodges. We don't see whatever the heck his name, Robinson. But we're going to go with one of them. We're going to go with those guys. We're going to give the youth of this roster going here. In terms of the offensive line, well, I like our 2 tackle spot. You know, Andrew Thomas, in my opinion, the most underrated player on this team. Honestly, I think he deserves to be a higher overall than a 92, but you know what? That's okay. And across the rest of the board, I'm happy with John here, who we drafted in the 2nd round, who has the hidden dev. I think he would develop nicely at center. Then, of course, Evan Neal, who we drafted in the 1st round last season. I think he's going to be a good player. Love the move to bring in Darren Waller, but we still do not have a number 1 receiver, and that is probably, besides really the quarterback position and the interior of this offensive line, that's probably the next really big move for this offense, is getting a number 1 wide receiver. Right now, as I'm recording, I'm going to be editing this. You know, there's rumors that maybe Mike Evans will be traded. I'm not going to do any sort of trades like that, but you know, that would be pretty cool if we could somehow get what's his name, Mike Evans on this roster. But as we are dealing with the real life injuries, apparently I don't have a lot of corners, but you know what? Very excited about this defense. Sexy Dexy here, one of the best defensive linemen in the league. Gotta give him as many opportunities. Excited about him. Leonard Williams, I don't know if he's gonna be on this team long term. We'll see how we'll play. I don't even see, what's his name? Maybe this is not even the right let me go back here. I don't think that this is the right franchise because we need Isaiah Simmons, who we traded for. Yeah, I didn't see his name. I don't even think he's on that roster. Half the time when Madden first drops, I don't even know which freaking file to use. Let's just use the active roster. Maybe this is the one that you're supposed to be using. But I'm excited for the New York Giants when they traded for Isaiah Simmons. I think he's a very good athletic playmaker. I think he will be that difference maker in terms of the linebacker position. And overall, I'll load this up and then I'll talk more about the defense. Okay, that's much better here. Now, I guess Dexter Lawrence is injured during this time. I guess he dealt with a practice injury. Who knows? But like I was saying, you know what? We have we have more talent across this defense, especially at the linebacking core. Bringing in Bobby Okereke, very happy we got him. Isaiah Simmons, who we traded for. Of course, we got Azeez Ojulari. We got a great defense here. Well, a young, tenacious defense. They got a lot of work to do. I think Xavier McKinney is also healthy. But very excited to start rebuilding this New York Giants team. I like the draft pick of Banks. You know, he was a good player out of, I think, Florida. I don't really know, or Maryland. I don't follow the college ranks here, but I'm excited for Devontae Banks here. Hopefully he will step up. I don't know if Hawkins, the rookie receiver who we drafted in the 6th round, is developed at all. No, I don't think he is. I think he's like very low rated. But you know, he's going to be a good player. And again, I don't think Madden or EA keeps up too much. It's very difficult. Though Thibodeau here, he's going to be basically the player between him and Dexter Lawrence. These are the two players across the front 7 that you kind of circle to hopefully build around. And hopefully we can get some of these players some development traits here. So let's go sim now to the mid-season mark. So right now I'm just setting up the scouting for what scouts we're gonna do. The first scout I hired was for a wide receiver and I believe a tight end. Gotta be thinking about playmaker for this offense, and for the tier 2 I'm gonna probably want something for the defense. But overall, you know, I'm very excited to start up these rebuilds for you guys. You know, this is something that I am going to be doing for the next few months, actually. You know, we're not going to be starting the major franchise. As I'm recording this, we're entering into the postseason for the Houston Texans. I don't know which video is going to come out first, but either way, you know, I'm going to be mostly focused on these 5-year rebuilds, mainly because, you know, I want a little bit of variety back to this channel, and I have no idea who I want. Let's just go with some type of offensive tackle and offensive lineman. But you know, I'm really kind of want to give you guys a little bit more of my perspective across the league and across certain teams. And why not start with the New York Giants here? I'm probably not doing the best job of presenting this video at this current juncture, but you know what, that's okay. You know what, I haven't done one of these in literal months here, so you know, just gotta try our best here. Just gonna hire couple more scouts, and you know what, let's finish off the scouting here by looking at, I don't even freaking know. Let's just do a wide receiver again. But you know, I'm gonna be trying my best here with these rebuilds. We're just gonna have some fun trying to win a Super Bowl, you know, with as much as humanly possible. I have no idea how good this class is. I don't even know who I should be setting up my scouts with, but you know what, we're just gonna have some fun with it. Let's go get it. So I mean, any sort of feedback would be great for these type of videos from you guys. You know, I really want to get better at this stuff and work on my craft, but this will be the team that we're gonna go enter into week 1 with. You know, Xavier McKinney, I guess, is dealing with a long-term injury. He's dealing with an ACL sprain, but once we get him back, that should really help out this team. You know, right now we're gonna go with the youth at the wide receiver spot. I don't know if I'm gonna sim like week by week on my end, or if I'm gonna be simming. I think I'm gonna go sim week by week, and if there's any major storylines, I'll point it out to you guys. But we're gonna go with the youth at least to start out here at the safety position. You know, I'm gonna get Belton the opportunity, but I'm hoping that we can be a ferocious team. You know, I'm very excited for the New York Giants season this year, and hopefully we can start off by getting a victory here in week 1. Let's go see if we can do so. If we do, you know, it would be great. And of course we don't. You know what? We're the only team in the AFC East that do not have a victory, and that's great. Okay. Hopefully we can now beat the Cardinals. So as of right now, we're 4 games in, and we just lost Darren Waller for the next 6 weeks, which due to a broken collarbone. So that means Daniel Bellinger is going to have to step up. At this current point in time, we're 2-2. We've started to put together some victories here. But I think this is a good time here to look at some negotiations here. We have $71 million to work with. You know, we have Saquon Barkley. We have to make a decision on Xavier McKinney, Adoree Jackson, Isaiah Simmons, who we just traded for, Isaiah Hodges, Parrish Campbell. And there's a bunch of starters and rotational players here. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, why didn't I do like the mini games? Why haven't I been focusing on stuff like that? You know, for me right now, that's something that I want to do in a more of an in-depth type of series. These type of rebuilds, I kind of just want to get right into simming and really get right into just rebuilding the team here. But for the New York Giants right now, you know, and this is going to be the same thing with like regression and stuff, you know, running backs will be something that I'm going to look highly into. You know, I want my big rebuild to feel like a realistic rebuild. For now, I'm not gonna really do that. But you know what? I want to keep Saquon throughout this 5-year rebuild. We'll offer him this 5-year deal. He accepts. Happy to have Saquon on this team. For Xavier McKinney, same concept here. He's an excellent playmaker. I want McKinney on this team. Adoree Jackson, you know, 3 years is a lot of money. 3 years, that's about $7 million. He's definitely a player that I would definitely be considering. You know, I think as Isaiah Simmons here, he's kind of the same concept. You know, I try to keep him. He's looking for more money. We'll go back to the negotiation table with Simmons. For Adoree Jackson, I'll offer him this 3-year deal. He takes it. I think it's simple. Keep the good players on this team. Isaiah Hodges, this is a decision to be made. I think we could do better at the wide receiver position. And for the rest of the players right now, I think we're going to make a decision on Hodges. I need him to hit 1,000 yards this year. If he could do that, absolutely, we'll give him a long-term contract with the team. And then we'll come back to the negotiation table with Simmons. Okay, deal done here with Isaiah Simmons, a 5-year, $40 million. We'll have our 2 linebackers throughout the 5 years of this rebuild. And you know what? With an 0-2 start, we have now won our last 5 straight games here to get to 5-2 here, where this division is so tight, and I don't expect this division to be this close. You know, I still think it's going to be a tough year for the Giants and team, but my goodness, every team is above 500. We're on a great winning streak here. Let's now talk a little bit now about some of the prospects coming into this. Now, this is something that I really haven't taken too much of a close eye on. You know, I think when you look across the board, let's try to find any sort of, now I go immediately to the quarterback position, but there's 4 quarterbacks in this draft class that are expected to go into the first round. Not thinking about anything, you know, maybe a wide receiver's in play. You know, BJ Elton here, he looks like the most intriguing option here as a physical specimen here. Athletically, he doesn't look the best, but he might be someone that I would consider here. We'll put him on the board. In terms of anything else, you know, across the offensive line, my goodness, this does not seem like the best draft class for our personal needs. You know, someone like Ryan Stanley here, he might be a quality lineman. Great to elite strength. You know, I always look for that in terms of my offensive linemen. We'll put Stanley on the board as well. For the defense here, you know, we gotta be thinking about anything to help out the pass rush. We'll keep with the old New York Giants mantra: you can never have too many pass rushers. So if there's any pass rushers that I do see that jumps off of the board, and I don't see anyone that really does, but you know, Aaron Sharp here at 6'4", every time I see it like above 6 foot corner, it kind of intrigues me. Let's go see Aaron Sharp here. I immediately put him on the board. He's 21 years old, grade 2 elite speed. You know, already that intrigues me with where's his coverage ability with B-man and B to D zone. If that's a C, Sharp could be a good corner. Though, because of the fact that we're in year 1 of these rebuilds, I don't think we're going to make any trades. I know we're 5-2. We're second place in this division right now. I don't think that we're going to make any sort of moves. If we're going to choose the position to focus our scouting on, let's set this. Oh my goodness, I'm always so bad with this type of game. In terms of player that I would probably be the most intrigued with to go get would actually be offensive linemen. I do still think that that's our biggest weakness. But you know what? Let's look at wide receivers. Let's try to get our number 1 receiver, and that's, I think, what we need to do. So let's go sim now to the playoffs, and let's go see if we can make the postseason. And in year 1 of this 5-year rebuild, the New York Giants have made it to the postseason with 11-6 record, and will play against the Chicago Bears here in the wild card action. My goodness, we had looks like a fantastic season. This is also really the first time I'm really like taking this Madden 24, doing any sort of content. So it's like the most that I've actually been paying attention to certain things. But Daniel Jones, yeah, this is the type of year I guess you would expect from Daniel. Less than 3,000 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Not a great year, not a terrible season, not pretty much a very bad year. Thankfully, we have Saquon Barkley, 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns. You know, what more could you ask for from our back? My goodness, we had nothing at the wide receiver position. Isaiah Hodges led the team with 50 catches, 500 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Sterling Shepard got involved. Wan'Dale Robinson. I guess my depth chart got mixed up at some point in time. But my goodness, we had nothing here. I'm gonna let Isaiah Hodges walk most likely at the end of the season. Let's look across this line. Hey, you know what? No one allowed more than 5 sacks. And you know what? I'm happy about that. Bobby Okereke led us in tackles here with over 100. Kayvon Thibodeau had 12 TFLs with Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams and Azeez Ojulari. But these sacks numbers, you know, hey, Azeez Ojulari had 9 sacks. Happy about that, but I really want Thibodeau to be the focal point. I might end up changing the playbooks. Right now, we're still running the New York Giants playbook, so maybe that's it. And the interceptions, really not the best at all. 21 ranked offense, and let's see the defense here in terms of passing. 3rd, you know, very respectful. MVP is Patrick Mahomes. Coach of the Year is Zach Taylor. We'll only focus on the AFC. Let's go see if we have any Giants. Cooper Kupp, Micah Parsons, Jordan Addison, Jalen Carter, Dak Prescott, Saquon Barkley. And I don't expect really anyone else. You know, we had a couple runner-ups here, and so Saquon, focal at the point, and that makes a whole lot of sense here. But now, hey, can we win in the wild card action here versus the Chicago Bears? And we're 1 and done this year. Hey, you know what? First year of this rebuild, we go 1 and done. We still made the postseason. That's okay with me. You know, we did exactly what we needed to do. We made a base. That just means now there's expectations entering into now the rest of this rebuild and trying to now get to the Super Bowl. As the Kansas City Chiefs lost in the Super Bowl to the Philadelphia Eagles, we had a back-to-back rematch here, which is definitely something that's possible here. As you guys can see, the little snapshot here as the Philadelphia Eagles get their second Super Bowl victory in franchise history. Jalen Hurts is your MVP. Oh my goodness, they got a little bit of revenge. Will we see a rubber match at all during this franchise? Let's go see any sort of retirements. And, you know, there's a few players like Robert Quinn here, and Linval Joseph, Julio Jones, some big names here. Tyrod, he's probably the only Giant that would retire, most likely. We just go to us and see if we have to make any sort of decisions here. No, Tyrod retires. Let him walk off in the sunset. Happy about that. But now it's time to make our make sort of moves here. You know, we made the playoffs. We were one and done. It's time to get this team a true, legitimate #1 receiver. And I don't know how much money we have. About $30 million. So hopefully right now we can do so. Make some noise here. In terms of re-signing here, you know, I think for Isaiah Hodges here, Paris Campbell, we'll let these players walk. Leonard Williams, this is an interesting one because, you know, Williams 30 years old. He's a good player, but I think we're going to let him walk. Same with Sterling Shepard. I think a lot of these players we're just going to kind of move off of, you know, unless we really kind of want to keep, what's his name, Grand Gano here. Let's offer Gano a contract. I like Gran. Let's give him a 2-year, $8 million a year sign. Cool. We have our kicker for the next couple seasons. So this is where the roster stands right now. As you guys can see, Darius Slayton did lose his development trait, which definitely sucks, but you know, I still think wide receiver is in need here. For now, we're going to keep with Daniel Jones just because he's under contract and we can't really do much about it. I still think helping out the guard position, either one would really be smart. Like Darren Waller at tight end, will not really do any moves at that. I think front four needs a little bit of love here. Daniel Bellington, he got a development trait. Happy to see that here. So, you know, it was kind of smart to start him throughout this past season. So, you know, we probably don't need to focus in on safety. I would say entering into this offseason, getting a #1 receiver for this offense, hitting the guard position, and then defensively get a front three player, maybe get another player in the secondary. You know, yeah, I would say another corner would probably be the smart idea here. But those are our big moves. I think we have about $26 million to work with. Let's go see if there's any negotiations that we want to do. I would probably only go after a defensive lineman. You know, in terms of a wide receiver, sure, we could go get Odell Beckham Jr. But I mean, I just don't see us being able, for one, we can't even afford Mike Evans or Keenan Allen, and these guys are older players, don't really want them. In terms of like a young player, there's not like a young star wide receiver. In terms of helping the offensive line, it just, you know, Caesar here, he would probably be the only good one to go get, but I just don't see myself doing so. So let's try to add at least one veteran defensive lineman. Leonard Williams could come back. Trey Flowers, he might not be a bad option. Defensive tackle, we could always just kind of move someone. Michael Pierce here, we could move, help out the running game here. Yeah, let's go get Michael Pierce. Let's actually add like a new face to the defense. So we'll go after Pierce. He'll be our only negotiation, a 1-year contract. Bobby Wagner's out here. I'm not going to look to bring him in. We're going to try to just save as much money as we possibly can. But I mean, if we can get Pierce, that would be great. So let's evaluate, and he did not sign with us. So, okay, you know what? That's free agency. Let's move to the draft. We don't have a lot of money anyways, so no need to force it. As we do have the 24 overall pick in this year's draft class. Let's view the board here. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. We will be simming to our selection. I don't think that there's a player that we're going to go trade up to go get. BJ Ellison is a 1-2 talent. You know, if we could get one of these players, we probably will be okay. But overall, this draft class was not something that I was truly really impressed with the amount of on how much I really took to peek at it. But you know, there's a few good players. You know, Base here, he might be a good receiver. I don't really know how to scout receivers in this game just yet. But, you know, we got to focus on the defensive line. That's probably the move we'll go get, is a defensive lineman here in the first round, just because that's probably our most glaring need. But, you know, overall, that's okay. So let's sim to our pick here. I will be probably making the first few picks for our team. So when we look at across this defensive line, is there anyone that could like step in that has like any sort of like good power moves? So Kramer here, you know, B power moves to start off, 23 years old, more of a run stopper. He could be definitely in play. He is very, you know, he's strong. Could be a Leonard Williams replacement. You know, Thorne here, same type of concept here. He's a little bit bigger, 21 years old though, a little less strength, but I definitely think those two players are definitely on, definitely considerations. Hawkins here, or Hankins, excuse me, same concept. Let's see on the other side. I don't really like Palmer here. I think it would be too early to draft anyone else of those guys. Here's a well-rounded and Prince here. And Joe's Prince, Jesus Christ. B's across the board, but he's number one. He's an excellent athlete. Could we move him? I think he's the guy here. I think when I see ones and twos as an athlete, he's strong. Yeah, we're gonna get Prince here, and he's a 95 strength with hidden development here. 23 years old. He's the Leonard Williams replacement. As we simmed here to the second round now, you know, we got our defensive lineman here. You know, I would love to get a wide receiver, but no one else is on our board anymore. I mean, I only put 3 players on my board. Hawkins is there. We could draft another defensive lineman. I'm not gonna do that. But let's go see if there's any receivers that like stand out to me. Rashard Basley here, who's 21 years old. He's a playmaker archetype, second fastest 40 time. Immediately kind of intrigues me. I think Basley here could become our number 1 receiver. So here in the second round, we'll go get him. He has normal to dev, unfortunately, but 94 speed. He's an excellent athlete here. And who knows, Basley might be our next number 1 wideout. As we sim now to the third round, this will be the last pick that I will make here in the first draft class. You know, there's a few more wide receivers that really have fallen here. You know, I think now we're gonna go get an offensive lineman. I think that's really that's what we should be focusing on. I mean, gotta just kind of look for some A's here. And you know, Evan, no. Let's see, Mark here, 22 years old. Again, we didn't really scout the interior of this offensive line, I guess, that good. I don't really... again, you guys can see how unprepared that I am, and I'm going to be unprepared throughout this. I like that emergence of not really understanding too much of the draft class. I don't like to cheese the system. Personally, in my humble opinion, I think if you try way too hard in terms of just cheesing the teams in draft classes, it's kind of stupid in my opinion. In terms of drafting an offensive lineman here, I think Connor Freeman looks like the most intriguing, just looking at the base overalls and everything. Let's go get Connor. Why not? 95 strength, normal dev. Hey, you know what? We help out the 3 weakest spots I feel across this team, and hopefully these 3 rookies can help us out. So let's go see how badly of a drafter that I am. You know, this is the first draft class I really kind of took seriously. Got a 95 or 75 overhaul here. Joyce Prince here, who is going to be playing left end for us, not defensive tackle. But I think he's going to be a good player for our defense. He's going to be placing Leonard Williams here. He does bump down to a 72 overall. Makes sense. But you know what? He can also play nose tackle if necessary. 95 strength, 75 power moves. You know what? The only thing we need him to do is be able to stop the run, get to the quarterback. Basley here, you know what, 70 overall, normal dev. Not really exactly what I wanted to see. Was hoping for like a 72, 73, but you know what? We have a lot of these type of number 2 guys on this team. And then Connor Freeman here, who will be moved to guard. Maybe not the best pick, but he is my pick. So happy about Connor Freeman here. We're gonna move him to right guard. Number 69, nice. Bumps up a little bit. We did get Manny Thomas here. It's more of a speed rusher. He might be technically more of an outside linebacker in our scheme, but we'll keep him there. We also got Still here, who is a hidden dev player, more of an off-ball linebacker, but he has good speed. He could be a good player. Hey, we got a hidden dev. Good job by the CPU. Then we got Danny here, another off-ball linebacker, also good speed, but also normal dev, so who cares? And they finished off the draft class with another hidden development player. So CPU can draft better than me. And you know what? We help out the depth across this line. Let's go see if there was any players that we should have drafted instead. Like I said, I didn't think this was the strongest draft class. And you know what? We did pass up on the best player in the class in Spencer Stevens once, though that's okay. Few 70 overalls, no one in the 80s, so happy we didn't miss out on that. I'm gonna try to find the players that I was kind of like intrigued with when I initially saw the draft class. There's Stanley, who is 75 overall. He would have been a good player who we could have drafted. I have no idea where the corner is or the wide receiver, but you know what? I don't think it's a bad draft class on our end. We hit on some needs. Let's get into year 2. Well, this will be the team entering into year 2. You know, not a ton of changes across this team. You know, we didn't add anyone in free agency. Daniel Jones is still the starting quarterback. Basley here, we might end up making like the number 2 receiver. I might end up trading away Darius Slayton and just go with the 3 really young receivers and just see what the hell happens to this receiving core. But not too many changes across the offense. Defensively, Prince will be the starting defensive lineman. And same with Thomas here. We're going to give him the opportunity. So we're going to have 2 rookies helping out across this defensive line next to Dexter Lawrence, which could be a problem here. But I definitely think Darius Slayton could be out the door sooner than later. You know, I don't know when we could get out of the Daniel Jones contract, but who the heck knows? You know what? Let's get into year 2 here. And here at year 2, we're 2-5. Not the best start halfway through the season here, which is not at all what you really want to be seen with your team after making the postseason, winning over 10 ball games last year with relatively the same roster here. How much money do we have? We have $53 million. Azeez Ojulari has to make a decision on him. Would like to keep Ojulari. He's a good player. I think he's probably the only player that we're going to try to keep. We do have the 5th-year options for both Thibodeau as well as Evan Neal here. 2 players that I don't know just yet if we're going to pick up the 5th-year options for both or one of them, because I might just want to give them contracts. Though, let's try to get a trade here for Darius Slayton. We're not having the season. And then for Azeez Ojulari, you know, he was one of our more productive players in terms of sacks, and this is a very much of a fair contract, so we re-sign him. And let's go trade away Darius Slayton. We're not having a great season. Might as well give the young players opportunities. And if there's any other players that we can move off of a trade, we'll absolutely do that. Where is the trade finder? My goodness, I can't even find that on this screen. So we're sending Darius Slayton, Mark Lowski, and Aaron Robinson to the Houston Texans to get a 3rd-round pick. Might as well give myself one more chance here to during the draft to see if we could get any sort of good players here. Let's go even take a look at the draft class, because I mean I haven't even taken a look at it. So let's go see. You know, we still need a wide receiver in my opinion. There's a couple good quarterbacks in this up and coming draft class. There's a top Crowder here, could be immediately. I have interest in Pat here. He could be a very dominant force here at the receiver position. 6'2", 22 years old. Looks like going to be a good athlete. He's a top 5 projected player. Very interested in him. Same with Derek Bennett here. He actually, even with Jonathan Crawford here, I think the top of this receiving group looks more intriguing to me than last year's wide receivers. Though, because of the fact that we traded away Golowski, we definitely need to be looking at an offensive line. That is gotta be a need for us. You know, Glenn Wright here, he could be a player that we could just move to guard because, hey, you can just do that in EA or in Madden, and teams do it all the time anyways, so it would make a whole lot of sense for us to do so if we necessarily wanted to. In terms of defensively, you know, I think we have our linebackers. I think we have good players in the secondary, though a corner could never be a bad option here. But overall, wide receiver is probably going to be our top focus, at least again in the first couple rounds. Well, year 2 was not this type of season we wanted, but we did able to finish it off strong, going 8-9 here. A little one game under 500, which is okay. You know, not terrible, not great, not terrible either, but kind of what you expect from a Daniel Jones led team. But overall, you know, not too upset about it. I mean, Daniel actually had a better season than he did a year ago. Almost 4,000 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. You know, I don't know how much longer we can really keep Daniel on this roster. Really probably his second best season as a Giant. He still has 2 years on his deal. I really don't know if we're gonna keep him long term. Saquon Barkley, 1,200 yards, 19 touchdowns, dominant as always. Happy to have him. Darren Waller, there you go. Here's some more respectable receiving numbers. 900 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns. Very happy about that. Jalen Hadgett here, almost 800 yards with 6 touchdowns. Wandale Robinson added 4. And the Basley here, less than 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, we need help. We need to give Daniel an option here other than a 31-year-old tight end here. Really got to give him an option here other than Darren Waller. A lot of sacks allowed here. My goodness. Evan Neal is letting out 15 sacks is not good, but not going to put too much stock in that. Bobby Okereke over 100 tackles with Isaiah Simmons. Prince here, who led us in TFLs with 14. Happy about that. You know, that's his job. Dexter Lawrence with 11.5 sacks. Azeez Ojulari with 6.5. Prince with 5. Thibodeau with 5. My goodness, we need to get a pass rush. I mean, maybe we change to a 4-3 instead of a 3-4. Turnovers are still down. So I still think our needs here, as I completely skipped over yearly awards. So I still think our top needs is in terms of the interior of the offensive line and helping out this defensive line as defense regressed, but the offense, I guess, progressed. Dak Prescott somehow won league MVP. Mike won the end of the NFC offense, or the coach of the year. CeeDee Lamb is the receiver of the year. Is there any Giants? That's really the main question. Surprised that Prince wasn't higher. That's unfortunate here, as Saquon didn't even win best running back. That's kind of how you know we have a lost season if Saquon Barkley didn't have a good season. So unfortunate, no yearly awards year 2. Let's just put this year behind us and try to let's just move past this season. Why not? And this year, the Buffalo Bills gets their first ever Super Bowl champion as they beat the Dallas Cowboys 22-21 in a close ball game. They got their revenge after about 30 years, losing to them a long time ago here. But, you know, now as we're entering now into year 3, you know, we got some, it looks like we got some money here. I don't know how we got some money, but we do. But now we got to make some moves here and really try to help out Daniel Jones. No retirements on our end, so that's good. Can we now get over the top? Can we now get back to the postseason and start really putting together some victories here? So, I mean, in terms of making decisions here, I am going to pick up the 2 fifth-year options. Actually, we're only going to pick up the 5th-year option for Evan Neal. I think Kayvon Thibodeau we could re-sign, and he's not. Actually, we'll just pick both up. It makes more sense. So we'll pick up the 2 fifth-year options for both Neal and Thibodeau. makes a whole lot of sense. Both of these two players will stay on this roster no matter what. You know, I mean, they're not performing as I hope, but you know, overall they're good players here. So let's go check out this roster, and really, what the hell do we need to do? We have money, somehow. Again, I don't really understand, but you know, we need a wide receiver. That is what we're in desperate need of, is just a true legitimate receiver for Daniel Jones. Darren Waller went up to superstar development. Very happy about that. Gotta get a guard somehow, some way. Gotta get a guard somewhere. In terms of the defensive side of the ball, you know, Belton lost his development trait. Probably corner is something that we should be considering, helping out this defensive line. Again, I think these linebackers in a very good spot here. McKinney's in a good spot. Could look to get a safety. I don't think that's our pressing need, but I would say safety, defensive line, corner, both guards and wide receiver. Those are our needs. Let's see if free agency offers anything for us. We have $70 million to work with. Nick Chubb is out here. Amari Cooper's out there. My goodness. So let's see wide receiver. So Amari Cooper's out here. Dante Johnson's out here. Brandon Cooks, Michael Thomas, Elijah Moore. I mean, Elijah Moore, he could be the guy. You know, we bring in Elijah Moore. He becomes our #1 receiver. He's not that expensive. He might not want to come to the New York Giants, but who cares? You know, we'll offer him you know, we have the money to do so, and he immediately becomes the #1 receiver. Why not come to New York? We get and he's young too, so there's room to develop him. Would love to bring Elijah Moore to New York. In terms of helping out any sort of guard position here, I mean, there's a star dev guard, not gonna cheese the system. That's just not how I like to play Madden here. Kendrick Green here, I think he would be a good just band-aid. So we'll go after Green here, try to help out this offensive line a little bit. In terms of the defense, you know, gotta be thinking about adding someone across this defensive line. Though if we add someone too high of an overall, Prince wouldn't get an opportunity. So I mean, that's really I guess the rub when you think about it. Though, you know, there are a few players that I would be considering. You know, Lawrence here, DeMarcus Lawrence would absolutely be a player just to rub it in Dallas's face. Let's go get DeMarcus Lawrence. Let's go rub it in Dallas's face. Why the heck would you move off of Lawrence? He's an excellent run stopper as well as an excellent pass rusher. In terms of off ball, or in terms of linebackers, not looking for anything there. Corner, definitely something that we should be considering here. When you think about it, you know, there is Greg Newman, who's 25 years old, could immediately become our #1 guy. Newman is definitely in play for us. In terms of safety position, not thinking about going out here and bringing in a safety. I think Newman is going to be probably our more like our big free agent get. So we'll offer him a massive 4-year contract, $52 million. So those will be the players we go get, or attempt to, at least. So we got, so we have Greg Newman, Elijah Moore, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Green. Help out a little bit of the offense, defense. Still got to be, these are still positions of need even entering into the draft. So we got Elijah Moore, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Green. So we did not, though, get Greg Newman. He took less money to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I definitely think these 3 moves here could really help out across this both offense and defense. Still need a wide receiver, but you know what? Elijah Moore can definitely be our #1 guy. So let's go sim to the draft now, and let's go see if we can make any sort of moves to get a little younger and a little bit better. Still needing an offensive lineman. That's probably where we're going to go here in the first round, though who knows with me at this point in time. And here in year 2, we have the 14th overall pick. Tampa Bay has the #1 pick. The real question is, do we want to trade up? in reality, do we like this receiver enough to go get him? And if I can just find Pat here, I mean, he is definitely an intriguing player. We do kind of have the ability to go get him. Now, I don't know where he would end up falling. He would probably end up being a top 5 selection. But if we could go get Pat Crowder, I definitely think we should consider it. We do have an extra 3rd round draft pick this year. So do we try to package? I mean, first of all, do we have any means to go get him? That's question obviously number 1 here. When you just look at the initial roster, I mean, can we move anyone to go get him? In terms of the offensive side of the ball, not really. I mean, unless we're gonna trade away Wan'Dale Robinson and package in the 1st round pick. Yeah, I don't think we really have both the funds or the means to go get him, unless we're looking to trade away a lot of draft capital. And I'm not really looking to do that to trade for a wide receiver. That's just not, I would only do that for a quarterback. So we'll stay put here with the 14th overall pick. Let's go sim to our selection here. He's probably off the board. But we got 4 picks to make here for myself. So wide receiver is still kind of like front of my mind here, but offensive line is still something. Corner is still something that we need. Safety. So let's go see any wide receivers that just immediately jump off the board. Derek Barnett here. Hey, he does jump off the board here at 22 years old here. Not the fastest, more like a slot guy. But Barnett here, he could be a good number 2 receiver just to step in right away. You know, we could go get a physical specimen here, but I don't think we're going to kind of go in that direction. In terms of an offensive lineman that is really jumps off the board is Brendan McConnor here, 21 years old out of LSU. I think he could be the guy. You know, he's not the strongest, but he's definitely a consideration here. Move him to guard, allow this offensive line to really flourish with him. In terms of any other linemen, I don't really know just yet. Defensive line, I don't think that we're gonna go after anyone. You know, someone like James States here, he definitely is intriguing with that the A block shed and A power moves, or A tackle and B power moves. Strong, probably more a defensive lineman. If he falls into the 2nd round, he's definitely a consideration. Not looking at linebacker. I do think that corner though could be in play. Greg Crowes here, he definitely looked like the most intriguing player at 21 years old. I don't know about the man coverage, but he has elite speed. Greg Crowes could be the guy here that we go get. Safety, Devontae White here, 21 years old. He could be also a very good player. There's actually some players in the secondary that we could go get. I definitely think when you think about this selection, do we go get a lineman? You know, do we help out this offensive line? Do we help out this receiving core, or do we help out this secondary? And you know what? I think right now, I think we go get Greg. I think Greg here, 21 years old out of Iowa. I know the line is typically my selection, but let's go get a corner. Hidden development here, 95 speed. You know what? We have 2 young, very good corners on this roster. We have Dory Jackson, who's the veteran, and now we get Crowes here. He really solidifies this secondary, in my opinion. We still have a whole lot of safety, but that's okay. Right now, Crowes will help out the 3 cornerbacks. As we sim here now to the 2nd round, you know, there's probably plenty of players that got drafted that I would have loved to go get. And, you know, D'Angelo already, I mean, he looks like a good player here. Probably would have been a solid choice here in the 2nd round, but I really kind of took more of a look at the players that we could have went to go get. I'm not thinking about a wide receiver though. Waller here, if he falls into the 2nd round for that 1st to 2nd round talent, he might be a good luxury selection. I do think, though, here in the second round, we should go get an offensive lineman. Justin Holiday here, he looks like just with across the board, he's like that. He's that good player that could potentially be good. Who knows? I don't really know just yet. But line is probably where we're going to go here with this second round draft pick because, you know, this offensive line definitely needs some work. Now, James is there. This is interesting. I did say I would draft James if he did fall to the second round. Oh, do we go get a future player and really help out the... Yeah, we help out the future. James Dates here. He's the selection here. He's just too intriguing. 90 strength, hidden developments yet again here. Helping out we're giving more love to the defense. You guys know me. I like drafted defensive players for some fucking reason. And we're going to continue to do that. James is the selection. Hopefully, with 2 hidden dev players now, you know what? That can really help out this defense. But now, with these next 2 selections that I'm going to make, we're going to help out this offense a little bit. Waller is here. So Waller is definitely in play. So let's go draft an offensive lineman and hope that that they fall. And immediately we're kind of you know, we're kind of pushing it here, I guess, if we're going to go draft a lineman, which does make a whole lot of sense. There's not a lot of offensive linemen that are typically good that fall. So let's just take a shot at a random guy that looks intriguing. Now, Pat here, he has a couple A's potentially. And you know what? Let's go with Matt here in the second round. 90 strength here, or 89 strength. Jesus Christ. Matt, welcome to the New York Giants. Jesus, I don't know how to fucking talk today. So, you know what? We help out the offensive line, potentially just kind of getting more of a depth player. Cincinnati, don't draft the receiver. You don't need him. They don't. So now we can go get the wide receiver in Waller here. Looks like a luxury pick. We'll select him. Could be a future slot guy. 91 speed, normal dev. You know what? We help out the defense here in the second draft classes. We're going to enter now into year 2 or year 3. So let's go see what we did in terms of overalls. So Greg Crow's here, 979 overall. Here we go. We got a player. Okay. 92 man coverage, 74 zone, 75 press, 74 catching. My goodness, we got a stud playmaker here. Okay. You know what? I think that makes up for some of my bad selections. James here, 73 overall, hidden dev, more of a run stopper. Hey, you know what? That's perfectly okay with me to help out this defensive line. Happy about that. Matt, you know what? We'll just forget about that selection. Waller here in terms of slot receiver, 93 short route running, or 92 short route running. Hey, he can become a good slot receiver for us. He is a little injury prone, but that's okay. We get a backup running back and a backup safety. Does he potentially have hidden dev? No, so Ben doesn't. Let's go see this running back and Stephen McLean here. No, he's more of just a receiving option. That's okay. But hey, we might have gotten to the best player this draft class, and if we somehow, some way did that, I can't believe it. And we did. So I don't think that we can be too upset about that. Pat Crowder here would have been an excellent player, would have been a fun player to go get. How the heck did I pass up on Tommy twice here? My goodness, and Trey Rose here, we passed on him twice, but you know what, that's okay. And this was the corner that I was looking at here, that I was like, you know what, he could have been a good value selection, and he was, absolutely. But D'Angelo just isn't as good as Crow. Happy we got Crow. Entering now into year 3, I do think that we have a little bit of a better roster than we did last year, especially because of the fact that we signed Elijah Moore. And now entering into year 3, this is the roster. We still have Daniel Jones. We still have Saquon Barkley. The offensive line has not changed at all, besides we signed Green. You know, overall, this offensive line is still very much of a question mark. I definitely think that has to be a focal point next year, but you know what? We have good receivers here. We have good playmakers. Hopefully that can help out. I think we've really added to the strength of this team in terms of the defense. You know, we have some future playmakers. We have some future corners. You know, we got players. This defense is definitely the strength of this team, and hopefully that will be able to put us over the top entry now here into year 3. Daniel, can you just get us back to the dance at least one more time? Hopefully, maybe, who knows? Well, we're halfway through year number 3, and we're 3-3. Don't really know how to feel about that. Let's do some upgrading here for this team. 3-3, third place right now in the division. The division is in a very tight race here as the Commanders have become the top team here. Really the question is, do we decide to move off of players or not? We have 17 players to negotiate with, $27 million. Wan'Dale Robinson is the highest overall player. After that, you know, we have DeMarcus Lawrence. Lawrence could be a player that we could trade, especially because of the fact that I don't expect to keep him. But DeMarcus Lawrence could be a player we can move off of. You know, he, for whatever reason, wants to be here. But, you know, Lawrence right now has 6 sacks, 10 TFLs so far. He's, you know, he's doing his job. That's really the question. Same with Wan'Dale Robinson. You know, do we try to just trade these 2 players and try to get something for them or from them in terms of picks and try to go younger? Or do we sit here and try to play this out? I don't know. This is the tough part, I guess, about this team. Let's go just see. Let's just look at the stats right now and just see. We have a top 10 offense right now. What about defensively? I guess we also have the top 10 defense. Daniel Jones is playing okay. Saquon is doing his thing. Darren Waller, Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, why is Elijah Moore not getting more involved? What the hell is happening? Why is Waller playing more, doing great? Okay, you know what? The rookie Wallers the 2 Wallers are just popping off for this team. Man, this is a tough move here, and he leads us in sacks as well. My goodness, I think we stay the course. I think we trust the process, and let's go see if we could get to the postseason. Well, we did it. We made it back to the postseason as a wild card team, 10-7. Oh my goodness, somehow, some way we did it. Holy shit. Okay, well, we did it. We got back to the postseason. We banked on the team to do so, which is fan-fucking-tastic. My goodness, I did not expect us to do so at all. Daniel Jones really had a breakout season here in year 7. Over 4,000 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He looked good out there. 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns for Barkley. Darren Waller popped off here this season. Over 100 catches, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson had a fantastic season. Best year of his young career. Waller, who we drafted in the 3rd round, 66 catches, 922 yards and 10 touchdowns. Somehow, for whatever reason, Elijah Moore was just a decoy for this team. Saquon Barkley also added. He had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Offensive line looked like they played very good football here. Defensively here, Dexter Lawrence, 23 TFLs with Prince here with 20 TFLs. DeMarcus Lawrence with 20 of his own. DeMarcus Lawrence also led us in sacks. Thibodeau was up there in sacks as well. Sacks are down across the board. I don't know what the hell is happening with the team, and we can't get an interception to save our life. So that's okay. But we were the number 3 ranked offense here under Daniel Jones and a top 10 defense. So definitely better. Jalen Hurts, MVP of the league. Let's go find any New York Giants. Waller was the runner-up. That's unfortunate. That could have been a development trait. I think that's a quarterback that won it. Saquon, best running back, and other than that, I don't expect us to have anything else. So again, Saquon can only win awards for us, and other than that, you know what? We're back into the postseason. Let's go see if we can make it now to the divisional round. And just like in year one, we are 1 and done. God fucking damn it. Okay. Back to the drawing board here as we lost to the Detroit Lions, and that is just unfortunate. Now what do you do? I mean, we need it. I don't really know. Who the heck knows? Maybe we just go after offensive linemen. I mean, that is something that we need. It's a rematch in terms of Super Bowl. So from a season ago, because apparently EA can't generate any other teams to get back and forth to the Super Bowl here. As Dallas now gets their revenge, Dak Prescott wins the MVP of the Super Bowl, and as you guys can see, God fucking damn it. So now the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl. Okay, let's go see any retirements. I don't expect us to have any retirements. There's a few. Sterling Shepard retired, but I don't expect us to have any retirements. Grant Gano did retire. A couple players did retire. Okay, that's fine. So we do now need a new kicker. That I gotta remember to do that. I will absolutely forget to do that as we enter now into free agency. But my goodness, now do we keep Wan'Dale Robinson? I mean, he had a great season. Do we reward him with a contract, or do we don't do that? I don't know. We have $50 million to work with. Let's go see if there was any development changes across this team. Daniel Jones went up to star development, so that's good. At what, 30 years old, 29 years old. So Daniel, you know what? Hey, but do we look to move off of Daniel Jones? That's the question. Do we look to move off of Jones, try to restart here at the quarterback position? I don't know just yet. How the heck did Waller get on the field so much? I have no fucking idea. In terms of Crow is superstar development. Bobby Okereke got up to superstar dev. You know what? James, he's star. I definitely think entering now into we're going into year 4. And do we restart at quarterback? I think that is a question, 100%. I do though think we need to add that receiver. We don't have that receiver. I still think we need to add an offensive lineman. Green and Freeman can't be the guy. We need a playmaker, 100%. Defensively, I think the front 3 are good. Actually, the front 7's set. We have that set. Safety is going to be a need. Corner is not. So safety, playmaker, offensive line. I've been saying that throughout this entire fucking video. Okay, let's get now into any sort of negotiations. I don't think that we're going to keep Wan'Dale Robinson. I just don't. I think that we pick up this 5th-year option for Banks, even though I have no idea how good he's been doing. But sure, pick that up here. Wan'Dale Robinson, I don't think we'll keep. For the rest of the players here, I just don't see myself wanting to do anything with them. DeMarcus Lawrence, we could bring back, but I just don't see myself doing so. So let's just go into free agency with $50 million and let's try to make some sort of noise here. We got $50 million and DeAndre Swift is the best player. So I don't know really how to feel about that. Nothing at quarterback. Not going to look to draft or bring in a running back. Tyler Lockett's the best wide receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson is next up in line. Just not going to do anything with that. Could bring in Travis Kelce. Why the fuck not? Could we get an offensive lineman? Kenyon Green? Green would not at all be a bad option to bring in. Caesar, that would not be a bad option either. I mean, there's a few good linemen here. if we want to go get an offensive lineman, I definitely think that that's what we should do. So I think we go after Kenyon Green. We offer him a 3-year contract, try to help out Daniel Jones as much as possible with a good offensive line now. So we bring in Green. Let's go after Caesar. We'll offer him a 3-year deal. Try to just help out the 2 guard positions. We'll not even think about what's it called? Playmaker. We'll try to get a playmaker in the draft. But we'll really bump this up. Try to actually you know what? Let's go after Brandon Sheriff. I don't want Caesar. This Detroit have him. Why not? Go after Brandon Sheriff, patch this for a season. We'll say fuck you to the Commanders by bringing in Sheriff. In terms of tackles, not going to do anything there. Still could consider bringing back to DeMarcus Lawrence, who had a fantastic season with us. Though I think right now, if we're going to make any sort of moves, it would be at the safety position. Now, I don't remember which one is that we need. Though there is Jalen Petrie out there. You know what? From the Houston Texans franchise, do we just go after the 2 players that I really like in the franchise? Why not? Let's go after Jalen. Let's bring in the 2 players that we built up in Texas franchise. We'll offer Jalen a contract. Hopefully we can get one of these players to come over here. These will be the contracts. We're gonna go after 2 guards as well as Jalen. And Jalen, I expect not to come to us, but get Kenyon. Jalen decided to not come over, so let's now make this contract bigger for Brandon Sheriff. We need him to come over. We need to fix up this offensive line. Safety, though, is becoming much more of a glaring need. We'll evaluate this, and we get Sheriff on a massive 1-year deal. So safety is probably the direction we go into the draft in the first round, but it could also be wide receiver. Right now, that's where I'm leaning towards. Here we go. Here's the 3rd draft class, and you know what I just remembered? I have not looked at this draft class at all, so I have no idea what we're getting ourselves into here. But let's go see real quick. Let's go have some fun here. Not gonna draft a quarterback, though this definitely seems like a year to go get your quarterback. If we wanted to, I guess we could attempt to, but I just don't see myself wanting to go in that direction. Wide receiver, if there's a receiver that falls to us, we should go consider it. The offensive line is not something that we're going to be considering. Defensive line, we're good. We've been really improved on that throughout the years. And then strong safety is really the need of the team. It's the biggest glaring need. Though I'm not going to force drafting any player. Though Spencer here, Livingston, he has A's across the board. Gotta assume that's an A zone coverage. Did we just go get Spencer? I mean, he is intriguing. He could be, honestly, he could be a generational talent with those A's across the board. My goodness, it would be so hard to trade up all the way from number 19. Let's just sim to our pick. Let's go see what I can do. So we see that Houston did draft a receiver before us, so that's not good. There's quarterbacks that are here. This is tempting. This is very, very tempting. Now, immediately, if I'm gonna sit here and just look at the top 3, Ryan Rose here definitely seems like the more intriguing player. Now, do we go get the quarterback? Elite throw power, mind you. Okay, let's keep Rose in the back of our heads. Sam Young here, looks like more like a project to me. Okay, so we have one player in Rose that we could definitely consider drafting, and basically just say, you know what, screw it. For the last 2 seasons, we just start a rookie. 100% that's a direction we could go. Jonathan Wilcox here could be another direction we go. Get a number, again, try to hit the well at the wide receiver. Not at all the fastest, though I do like the receivers we have on the roster. We could draft a lineman. Chad Friedman here definitely seems like the most intriguing offensive lineman. I do think drafting him could be a good option for us, especially if we're more going in that direction. Same with Lance here, to be honest with you guys. Though we did patch up the needs of the offensive line with free agency. So do we really want to use our first round pick on an offensive lineman? That's something I don't think I just don't see myself doing. In terms of safety, you know, we could draft a safety here. With a hit power, Kenyon Beeson here, not the fastest. Griffin here, again, 23 years old, not a little faster. You know what? Fuck it. Rose, you're the selection. I'm gonna put all my eggs into you. 94 throw power, hidden development. Here's your new starting quarterback for the next few seasons. And let's go see if we can try to trade up into try to trade it back into this draft class to try to just move off of Daniel Jones. So there's two very intriguing offers here. Darnell Mooney and a 6th round pick, but it's mostly Mooney that we would go get for Daniel Jones, and 100% this is a consideration. The other move is to get Nate Brown, who would be a future offensive lineman for this team, and a 2nd round pick, I believe, from a year from now. I believe so. Isaiah Hodges, I'm just not going to trade for him. So basically, do we give our young quarterback a true #1 wide receiver, pair him up with Elijah Moore, and kind of have Moore and Moody as the two guys for moving forward? Or do we bank on myself to draft next season a good player? I think we go get Darnell Mooney. I like this move a little too much. It's not that I don't trust myself, it's that I think that Moody just helps the team today, and he's a better player than anything that we could possibly do. Though, because of that trade now, when we look at the state of the roster, I definitely think now we have a lot of depth at the receiving spot. You know, I think Basley is probably a player we should move off of. Same with Jalen here. Two players that I think we can easily move off of. But my goodness, now we get our guy, because I think Waller here, he can become he's basically our new slot receiver. You know what? We have our slot guy, we have our two #1 and 2, and now we have our rookie quarterback for the next 2 seasons. But I think Jalen is actually going to be the player that we're going to try to move off of. Actually, no. Let's keep these guys. Let's keep everyone in house. Too much trading is happening. Okay, we drafted our new quarterback. Did not expect myself to do that right here, right now. To be honest with you guys, I completely went left field in the last 2 years of this rebuild. So now, what can we do to help out this young quarterback? Safety is still really a need for us, 100%, and I definitely think I was keeping an eye on Lewis Creek here. He does have that A to C zone. I think Cheeks here is the guy. I think we're gonna draft him. 89 speed. I know he's a free safety. We'll move him to strong safety. Hopefully that will solidify our secondary, as we have one more selection to be made here for us here in the 3rd round. Hopefully we can get a guy that can help out our young quarterback. We're not drafting another quarterback. We could take a chance on a receiver, though I just don't see myself wanting to go in that direction. We could get an offensive or a tight end here. Maybe we go in that direction. So we're gonna draft Antonio Ellison here, 6'2", 23 years old, vertical threat. Why not? 81 speed, 71 strength, 87 acceleration here. Might be a #2 tight end, or he's basically becoming our #2 tight end. And hopefully now with a new quarterback, I know Daniel had a great season. He had a fantastic year, but I just don't see myself wanting to continue moving forward with him. So for starters, I'd also say is us a ton of money. But Ryan Rosen, 76 overall. Hey, he's now the guy. You take us to the promised land that I hope that he can. He fell into our laps. You draft the guy that is there. Creeks here, 67 overall. Cheeks here will be the strong safety moving forward. Hopefully he can really help out this defense. I don't know. Tonio, not the best. We did have a couple other good players here. Let's go see anything with any hidden development players would be great here. We'll just look at the top 2 guys and no, but hey, you know what? We did draft, the CPU can draft better than I can. So you know what? Possibly maybe there was a hidden depth player. Could we gone in a different direction? I mean, Spencer is definitely a generational talent. 100%. I saw it. It was just so it would have been so difficult to trade up to the #1 spot to go get him. And that's the reason we didn't do it. Though we did get still a good player here. Wherever Rose is. Though I think if you sit here and say to yourself, do you trade up and go get Spencer Livingston? That probably would have been like the most fun, but unfortunately decided not to go in that direction. Let's get into year 4. And now we have a rookie quarterback. Okay, so we got 2 years left in this rebuild. And we're now going with Ryan Rosen. He has Saquon Barkley. He has Elijah Moore, Darnell Mooney. He has a couple young receivers that are talented in Basley, Waller, and Hayton. He has Darren Waller. We improved this offensive line in free agency. Defensively, we're very good. We have a good front. We have a great front 7. We have, very good corners, very good secondary. You know what? The only thing that Rose has to do is not fuck it up. 2 years, can he do it? Let's go see. Okay, you know what? Halfway through the year, we're 3-4. Not terrible, not great. We're second place in the division. We still have a lot of room to improve. There's still plenty of football left to be played in this season here. I don't think it's. I do think that we were going to make a couple trades, but 3-4 right now, second place in this division. We have over $100 million to work with. Kayvon Thibodeau is someone that we gotta keep. We gotta keep Darnell Mooney because of the fact that we traded for him. Evan Neal, Bobby Okereke. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of starters here. A lot of important starters here to definitely be keeping on this roster. So let's start with obviously the big one. Now, Kayvon Thibodeau, he hasn't had the seasons and the career that you wanted to see. From him. Is he worth this contract? Absolutely not in terms of his stats and everything. But I think keeping Kayvon Thibodeau is very important for the longevity of this team. Darnell Mooney here. We're gonna give him a player-friendly contract here. Keep him. Between him and Evan Neal, I don't want to really replace these guys. Now, Bobby Okereke, Adoree Jackson, both 30 years old. Same with Joe here. We're going to give these guys all these low interest players. These guys I just don't want to really focus in on. Now, for both Adoree Jackson and Bobby Okereke, these are 2 starters right now that we could look to trade right now. Do we sit here and basically go into year 5 with draft capital and with money? Or do we keep these 2 guys and say to ourselves, you know what, we're going to be okay? For everyone else, Darren Waller, I love Waller, but 33 years old, probably not going to be the same player entering into his last year. Though I think, you know what, let's just keep the band together. Let's try to keep these players all together on this roster. I don't know what I'm clicking. So we keep Bobby Okereke. Let's try to keep Adoree Jackson, and then let's try to keep Darren Waller for the remainder of this rebuild. Hopefully these guys can come back, and we got all of them. They all re-sign. Everyone else can test free agency, but hopefully we'll have money, and hopefully we can finish here in year 4 strong, and that's it. Well, we didn't finish it strong. We went 7-10. We had another losing season, which is unfortunate, but you know what? With a rookie quarterback, we're entering into year 5. We have over $70 million to work with. It's now time to win. So that's it. That's all I gotta say. Ryan Rose, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, over 4,000 passing yards. Happy about that. 16 touchdowns, 1,300 yards for Saquon Barkley. Good season for him. Darren Waller, even at his age, he produced. Elijah Moore and Darnell Mooney had similar seasons. Basley looked good. I guess Waller didn't get involved here, but that's okay. We got players involved, and now entering into the last year of this rebuild, can we put together a team? James, he had a good season. Dexter Lawrence, good season for him. And again, we just can't get an interception to save our life. Top 10 offense here, so under a rookie quarterback, that's not terrible. And a terrible defense, which is surprising. Josh Allen is the MVP. Jalen Hurts, we have DeMarcus Lawrence, Ryan Rosen, Rookie of the Year. Happy about that. I don't think we're going to have anyone else, because unless it's Saquon, it's no one else. So we're entering into last year this rebuild. Let's go win. That's it. And this year's Super Bowl champion is again the Buffalo Bills, as they won a couple years ago. They beat the Niners this year. I think Josh Allen was the MVP. But my goodness. Okay, we're now entering into the last year of this rebuild here. And this is where we throw everything out of the door. Our kicker, I completely forgot to sign a kicker. Okay, perfect. But we got $72 million to work with. We got money. We have our draft picks. We have players to work with. So now, in reality, what do we want to do in this last year? You know, we got to be able to get over the hump. We got to be able to do this. So we just generate the best group here. You know, Rose in here. Rose is the guy. I gotta keep calling him Rosen for whatever fucking reason. But he went up to, I think he went up to superstar. But Darnell Mooney, we got our receivers. I think we're good at wide receiver. I think in terms of offense, you know, we're gonna need an offensive lineman to replace Brandon Sheriff. But I think other than that, we should be okay. Defensively, gotta help out this secondary. Gotta get a strong safety to solidify it. And other than that, I think we just kind of go find the best players and plug and play and see what the hell happens. Yep, I think that's basically the logic we're going to go into this offseason with. In terms of re-signing players, Prince here will pick up this 5th-year option. He's actually been a very good player for us. For everyone else here, we're just going to kind of let them walk. Thank you for joining the team. We appreciate you. But you know, you've done your job, and now go home. Okay, $73 million to work with. Our 2 biggest needs, in my opinion, is guard and strong safety, and we need to go after those 2 positions. Rodney Stanley is out here. Marcus Williams is out here. Okay, Williams is probably going to be a target of ours. In terms of offensive line, Brandon Sheriff is the best lineman available. So do we go after Rodney Stanley? That's in reality the question. Do we just go bring in Stanley and then move someone to guard? That's one thing we could do. I think in terms of safety position, I think we should be going after Marcus Williams. We're going to make this a very friendly contract here, and we're going to try to offer the best deal here to Marcus Williams. And though, actually, no, he's not going to want to come here. That's going to be like an impossible decision to be made unless we really even if we attempt to overpay him, well, I don't think we even could. So, my goodness, that's okay. How are we gonna make this work? Williams, how do you become a New York Giant? Maybe we just put a whole lot of money into here in the signing bonus and be like, yeah, this is what we'll get you. 4 years, you know, maybe, possibly. Does he even put us there? Okay, you know what? Fuck that. You know what? We're gonna go more the direction of shit. I have no idea. Von Bell would not be a bad option. Same with Dishman, Sean Elliott here. Either of those two guys wouldn't be bad. I do think though we're gonna go after Nate Davis. Actually, Brandon Sheriff wants to come back. Why not? Let's just keep the guy that we know who's solid at an offensive line. Okay. In terms of anyone else, don't really want to go after any of the Daniel Jones is out there. You know, we could bring in Daniel. Don't need a corner. Off our linebackers, we don't need. Could bring back Leonard Williams. BJ Hill, we could bring back as a New York Giant. Honestly, I think we just put all of our funds now into Marcus Williams. There's no one else that intrigues me, and he does not want to be a New York Giant, so we're just gonna throw money at him, because what more can you do? Almost $100 million, and that doesn't even put us, okay, you know what? What the heck? Okay, if he doesn't sign this, I don't know what else to tell you guys, because we did our absolute fucking I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. Well, he doesn't come back. He doesn't come to the New York Giants, so fuck me, I guess. Rodney Stanley is gone. Same with Von Bell. I do think, though, we need to go after a safety. I think we just need to add someone, so why not? Elliott, come to the New York Giants. We need you. We need you to solidify this secondary and be the guy. Okay, cool. We're making moves here. Terms of corners, we're gonna go after Tremaine Johnson here. Try to bring in a solid number 3 corner or number 4 corner, to be honest with you guys. Linebacker, not thinking about that at all. Defensive line, could bring back BJ Hill. Not gonna do that though. Nate Davis, I don't want. In terms of an offensive playmaker, could we bring anyone in? No, there's not really anyone out there. Though we could go after a running back and just have a good number 2 back. Hey, Derrick Henry's out there. Come to the New York Giants. Why not? Just come to the New York Giants. Is there like a veteran quarterback that can come in here and, you know, Jameis Winston? Yeah, this is the guy that I want to be teaching my quarterback how to throw the football. Abso-fucking-lutely. We'll go after the best punter, because I don't know if we have a punter on the roster, and we'll go after the best kicker, because I don't know if we have a kicker on the roster. Oh fuck. Okay. Evaluate. Cool. I don't even know who we signed and who we didn't sign. It doesn't matter right now. Who did we get? No kickers we got. So we got our punter, we got our corner, we got a safety, and we got sheriff. And we're still targeting some depth guys, so let's evaluate one more time. And see, so again, okay, we got Derrick Henry. Hey, we brought in Derrick Henry. What more do you guys want? Maybe we make that the fucking thumbnail, so then you guys can be clickbaited into this. But let's sim to the draft here. We're going BPA for their 3 picks, just seeing what I can do, and that's about it. And yet again, entering into the last draft class, I have not even looked at it. So is there a potential for a, what's it called? A generational talent? I don't think so. No one that really stands out to me. We're not looking for a quarterback. We're not looking for a running back. Wide receiver, I guess, could be in play. David Vincent would probably be my favorite target. Could draft a tight end for the shits and giggles of it. Offensive line is secured or complete in my opinion. Safety is really the biggest need. And honestly, that might be the direction we go here in the first round, just to solidify it and see where we go. So let's move to the 11th overall pick. There isn't a generational talent that I could just see. Again, the Houston Texans, they're just right in front of us. So top 2 quarterbacks are still available. The receiver is there if we want to go get the wide receiver. And we basically just want to sit here and say, you know what, who needs a safety? Let's go get another wide receiver. Though Joseph Allen here, Allen Joseph, excuse me, does look like an intriguing option here at safety. Hitchens here, Joseph Hitchens. So we have 2 Josephs that we could draft. He is the fastest. He could be the guy. This could be a decision. Let's go look at the wide receiver, because he just based off of the top 3, he looked like the most intriguing option. He is fast. Oh my. Yeah, okay. David, welcome to the team. 96 speed, hidden development. Why the heck not? Get our young quarterback a burner at wide receiver. And hopefully one of these 3 wide receivers can go make a play for us. Though, I don't think we're done here. I think we go make a trade here. I think we trade up here with the Indianapolis Colts. Because of the fact that we just traded for a wide receiver, or we just drafted a receiver, I don't think we need Basley on this roster anymore. As much as I like him and as much as he was on the team from the beginning of the franchise, I think that we trade him and our 2nd round pick, and we go get that one of those safeties here and help out this team. So give me your fucking pick and take everything that we got. So here's the 2nd round pick. Here is Basley. Does this work? I have no idea. Who knows? Let's see. Doesn't work. Okay, let's just throw a bunch of capital at them because I want to trade up. So let's see. Does this work? And it does. Okay, so we give them our next year 1st round pick. Don't care about it. And our 2nd round pick from a year ago and this season. So we're basically just trading up here. It's not something I will do in every single rebuild. I don't like to do that, but we will, because we need to draft Hitchens here. I think Joseph Hitchens is a great player, and he has hidden development here, and hopefully these 2 young playmakers can help out our team. And those are all the picks that I will be making, because the fact that kind of did cheese the system right there. But who gives a shit? Last year they rebuild. Last year we need to win the Super Bowl. This is my favorite team. Can we fucking do it? Okay. Draft recap. Let's go see these 2 young superstars that we just drafted. 74 overall across the board here, and the CPU even drafted someone who's 74. I couldn't do that, so that's why I did it. Genius on my part. Okay, cool. Welcome to the team, Tyler James. We got a bunch of other players that the CPU decided to draft, but my goodness, we got our guys here. We got this. We can do this, right? Possibly, maybe. This is an all-in type of situation here. God fucking damn it, there was an 80 overall. Okay, who cares? You know what? We did our job. We did fantastic. We got 1 more year to get through. Let's go sim to let's go sim to the we're not even gonna sim to the midway point. We're just simming. Well, actually, no, let me just show you guys the team. So this is the team here, guys. This is the team that we're going to go into year 5 with. This is the all-in roster. Can this young quarterback and Ryan Rose here take us to the Super Bowl? That's the question. We got, Darren Waller. We have improved the offensive line. It took us 4 years to do so. We got Derrick Henry. We drafted multiple wide receivers trying to fix this team up. Defensively, we look good, and hopefully we can get there. Who the heck knows? Let's go find out. If you are new to the channel here and you're liking this type of content, expect more like it. I am hoping to be more structured throughout these rebuilds here. This is the first 5-year rebuild on the channel here in Madden 24. For the next couple months, this is what's going to be my main focus. as we are moving away from the Houston Texans rebuild. So guys, please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of all the decisions I've been making. If there's anything I could have been doing better, if there's anything that you guys would like for me to see, less that I'm showing you, more that I'm showing you, let me know down below. Any sort of feedback is so important here. Can here in year 5, do we make the playoffs? We don't. Wait, we do. Jesus Christ. We won the division. We went 14-3. What the hell? I first saw. You know what? We did it. We have made it to the postseason. We are, holy crap. We are the #1 seed here in the AFC. Holy shit. Okay. We did it, guys. We have made it to the postseason. This is our last chance here. Let's go just look at some stats here. Ryan Rose, 4,000 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions here as a second-year quarterback. Happy about that. Saquon Barkley popped off with 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns. First 1,000-yard receiver besides Darren Waller, but first wide receiver with 1,000 yards in Darnell Mooney with 1,012. What's his name? Waller here, 900 yards here. Elijah Moore, my goodness. And he's an X Factor. What the hell? Okay, we did it. We drafted an X Factor. It took us until the last goddamn fucking year, but we did it. And that's great. And as you guys can see that I am on a PC. Offensive line, they played okay here. They did their job. You know, 14 TFLs here. Dexter Lawrence finally popped off with 16 sacks. James had 8. Kayvon Thibodeau, who's been a disappointment. Where the hell has Azeez Ojulari been? Where have you been? I don't even know. You have not done jack diddly shit since we gave you the fucking contract. Great. Thank fucking God that we did that. Okay. Finally got at least someone with over 3 interceptions. And other than that, we had a top 6 offense here. What about defensively? Top 10 defense. You know what? We have an opportunity. Joe Burrow MVP. Okay, Deebo Samuel. Do we have any New York Giants? Saquon Barkley as always, and he will always be there apparently. Okay, you know what? We're the #1 seed. We're the best team here in the NFC. Can we go make it to the Super Bowl? And you know what? We're starting off here with the Dallas fucking Cowboys here in the divisional round. My goodness. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm not playing. We're literally gonna hop into Super Sim here. We're gonna sim and see what the heck happens here in MetLife Stadium. My goodness. Divisional round playoffs here. Ryan Rose, second-year quarterback versus Dak Prescott. My God, they look pissed off at each other. My goodness, let's get into today's action here. Holy crap. Okay. I am not playing this because I do not want to be playing Madden right now. Okay. Let's jump to next quarter. First quarter here. We have a 7-0 lead here. Tied up. Nope. Okay. We're down by 7. Okay. Come on. Second quarter here. We tied it up here. Okay. Come on. Okay. We're down again. Tied up. Ball game. Here we go. Dallas leads here 24-21 entering into halftime. Here comes the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. We're up by 4 now, and we're staying up by 4. We have 1 more quarter to go. Can we get to the NFC conference game? We're up 35-31. Dallas scores late, and we lost. The Dallas Cowboys will be sending us home here, the divisional round in the MetLife Stadium. Losing to the Dallas Cowboys 38-35. Rose, fuck, his name is just Rosen now in my eyes. Lost us the game potentially, who the heck knows? My goodness. Well, that fucking sucked. Ryan Rosen threw 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The guy only threw 4 interceptions throughout the whole season, and he throws 3 in one game. Oh my God. Ryan, Jesus Christ, couldn't really run the football, got as many players involved as possible. This is just kind of a disappointment. Okay, well, my first 5-year realistic rebuild, with my favorite team. We lost to the Dallas fucking Cowboys. You know what? That just it honestly that what to be expected here on the channel. My goodness. Okay. Well, guys, that is the first 5-year realistic rebuild on the channel. Hey. We might have a bright future in front of us though. You know, if we decided to pick up with this franchise, you know, with Ryan Rose, that I keep calling him Rosen because I don't know. But guys, please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know down below what team you want me to be rebuilding next. Again, I'm gonna try to keep these videos under an hour long. I have no idea. I talk a lot. I try to give you guys as much information as possible. Sometimes I think I give you guys too much. Sometimes I think I give you guys too little. So guys, let me know down below if any sort of feedback that you do have for me would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, guys, let me know down below what team you want me to do next. And yeah, guys, I will see you in the next one.